Sir, in the last video, I hope you people are getting basic idea about throws keyword. Now I want to show this throws keyword in the big picture so that you will get much clarity. Observe that. A small example I am taking. Class, here have a look once very carefully, sir. Class test. Public static void main method I am taking. String array args. Public static void main string array args. Now my target is I'm calling do stuff method. I'm calling do stuff method. So main method internally calls do stuff. Now public static void do stuff. Public static void do stuff. Do stuff internally calls do more stuff. Do stuff internally calls do more stuff. Okay. Next, public static void do more stuff. Public static void do more stuff I'm taking. Here observe, inside do more stuff, just I'm writing the code thread dot sleep of 1000 milliseconds. Just have a look once, sir. Main method calls do stuff. Do stuff calls do more stuff. Do more stuff just printing, executing thread dot sleep of 1000 milliseconds, right? Now observe, who is the caller of do stuff? Main method. Who is the caller of do more stuff? Do stuff. Sir, like observe, who is the caller of sleep method? Do more stuff. Now I will ask, array compiler, can you please compile this code? Observe very carefully. Compiler, can you please compile this code? Then immediately compiler will give left and right at this point. At this point, array do more stuff in your area. There may be a chance of interrupted exception, checked exception, but you are not handling. You didn't report about this exception. How I can compile? Yes, at this point of time, we are going to get what compile time errors are. Can you please spell out? Unreported exception. Unreported exception, interrupted exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the compile time error we are going to get, sir. Okay, well, itself is the compile time error, right? Now my question is, sir, now compiler is asking do more stuff in your area, this problem is coming. Now what to prevent this compile time error? Observe carefully. To prevent this compile time error, do more stuff having two options. Option number 1, keep this line inside try catch. Option number 2, if you are not interested to handle, then delegate to caller. Are you getting? Let me show up to this. Have a look once, sir. The same example is already there. Class test. Public static void main string array do stuff. Next, do stuff, do more stuff like this, right? Same example, sir. Here, observe this. So at line number 13, going to get the compile time error, right? Now observe carefully. Line number 13, unreported exception, interrupted exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the error we are going to get. Sir, now do more stuff. How it is going to handle? One way is, sir, what is the first way? First way is you can use a try catch. If you can use a try catch, handle, no problem. But second, I want to delegate this responsibility to the caller like this, right? Now throws IE. Are you getting this line? Who is keeping, sir? Throws IE main do more stuff keeping throws interrupted exception. Now whenever do more stuff keep throws interrupted exception, then immediately compiler, do more stuff, you delegated this responsibility to your caller. Who is the caller of do more stuff? Do stuff, because do stuff internally calls do more stuff. Then immediately immediately compiler what it's going to do? Oi, caller, do stuff. You are calling do more stuff. Do more stuff delegated responsibility of handling interrupted exception. Where you are handling, you didn't handle, that's why I can't compile this code. Like instead of compile time error here, now the compile time error here at this line, it will come. Observe that. Now do more stuff delegated responsibility of exception handling to the do stuff, which is the caller, by using which keywords are throws keyword. Clear for all of you, right? Now let me show this one. Observe that here my do more stuff throws interrupted exception. Here just observe that interrupted exception. Do more stuff throws interrupted exception. Now, sir, do more stuff delegated responsibility of exception handling to the caller. Caller of do more stuff is do stuff, sir. Now the problem is coming at line number 9. At this line, the problem is going to come, sir. At line number 9, the problem will come. Now observe this one. Are you seeing line number 9 instead of line number 13? Earlier it is line number 13, but now it is line number 9. Unreported exception, like this we are getting, sir. So in our scenario, who is delegating here? Do more stuff delegated to do stuff. Now do stuff having two options, sir. One option, use a try catch, then the problem will be solved. But to do stuff, what it's going to do? Hey, someone delegated exception, why I have to handle? I will delegate to my caller, like this person also keeping, do stuff also keeping, throws interrupted exception. Are you getting? Do stuff also keep throws interrupted exception. Then immediately compiler what it's going to do? Oh, do stuff delegated to caller, right? Who is the caller of do stuff method? Respond. Who is the caller of do stuff method? Main. Immediately JVM will ask. Immediately compiler will ask. Oh, main, you are calling do stuff. Do stuff delegated interrupted exception where you handle. You didn't report about this exception. How I can compile? Like immediately error by default we are going to get now at this line. Okay. Remember this problem solved, sir. But here the problem is coming because do stuff delegated that responsibility to main method. Clear, right? Now have a look once. Here it is delegating that responsibility to main, like this, right? Now at this line the problem is coming. At line number 5 the problem is coming, sir. Earlier first time 13, now line number 9. Now observe that here if I can take line number 5, the problem is coming unreported exception like this. Now I have again two options are there. So this main method, it can keep this line inside try catch. One option. Second option is it also can use throws keyword. It can also use a throws keyword, right? Now what the main is going to do? Hey, someone raise their exception. Why I have to handle? So my caller is going to take care. Like this person is also use throws IA. Now who is the responsible to handle? Respond. Who is the responsible to handle? Main method. Who is the caller of main method? JVM. So JVM is the responsible to handle. Now compiler, if JVM can handle, what I can do? Happily the code is going to be compiled. Are you getting? Now if the main method keep throws IA, then the problem will be solved. Observe that here I'm taking throws interrupted exception. Okay, so do more stuff delegated responsibility to do stuff delegated responsibility to the main delegated responsibility to the JVM. If JVM is going to handle, happily the code is going to compile, no problem at all. Observe that happily the code compiles fine. We are not seeing any error, right? Are you getting? Sir, now I hope you are in the position to understand in the big picture what is the purpose of throws keyword. Throws keyword can be used to delegate responsibility of exception handling to the caller. Now the caller is the responsible to handle. Caller can be another method or JVM. Do more stuff delegated to do stuff delegated to main delegated to JVM. Clear for all of you, right? Now what is the purpose of throws keyword? Everyone can aware. But all these things are required only for checked exception to convince compiler. At runtime, really interrupted exception is coming. It is always abnormal termination only. Because so everyone delegated to the next. Finally, JVM is the responsible. If JVM is the responsible to handle, obviously it is always what we call it. JVM is the responsible to handle. Obviously it is always what? Abnormal termination only. Clear for all of you, right? Sir, throws keyword in the big picture, it's very clear, right? Now I want to do a small modification for this program. Can you please tell if the code will compile or not? Yes, observe that. Here I am taking, I removed throws keyword here. For do more stuff, I removed throws keyword. For do stuff also, I removed throws keyword. Observe carefully, sir. I removed throws keyword for do stuff also. So, do more stuff method not having throws keyword. Do stuff also not having throws statement. But for the main, throws IE is there, sir. For the main, throws IE is there. Can you please confirm if the code will compile or not? Yes, friend. If the code will compile or not? Okay? If I can ask this question in my regular classroom session, out of 100, 99 members minimum, 99% of the people are going to tell the code compiles fine, sir. Because main method already we kept a throws interrupted exception like this. Most of the people are going to feel no chance at all. The code won't compile. Because the reason is, if I can ask the compiler, can you please compile this code? Compiler is always going to ask do more stuff only. Do more stuff. In your area, thread or slip is there. Maybe a chance of interrupted exception where you are handling. Then immediately do more stuff is trying to give left and right to the compiler. Hey, my do more stuff called by do stuff called by main already having throws IE. Then why you are asking this question to me? Like do more stuff is trying to give left and right to the compiler. Then immediately compiler is going to tell, hey, do more stuff, please wait. So main throws interrupted exception I know, but sir, you are responsible to handle, but you didn't delegate to the main. Then how I can ask the main method? Are you getting? You didn't delegate that responsibility to the main method. Then how I can ask the main method? First, if you want to use this one, delegate that responsibility to the caller. Use throws keyword. Otherwise, the code won't compile. Like a compiler is going to tell. Remember this one. So I know main can handle, but you have to delegate to the main level. Then only it is going to be compiled. Like now again the same story compiled method we are going to get here. Remember this one, sir. Observe this. Have a look once. I'm trying to remove here throws a statement. Sorry. I'm trying to remove here throws a statement. Here also throws a statement I removed. Sir, only for the main throws a statement is there. Now again the problem is coming at line number 13. Observe that. What is the problem? Unreported exception, interrupted exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the error we are going to get, sir. Are you getting the point, right? This is the error we are going to get. Unreported exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the error we are going to get, sir. Sir, now how I can solve this problem? Again, do more stuff. Either responsible to delegate to the caller. Okay? Throws IE. Can you please tell if the code will compile or not? Respond. If the code will compile or not? Yes. Okay. If I can take like this, now the code won't compile. Immediately, compiler will ask, array do stuff. You are calling do more stuff. Do more stuff throws interrupted exception. But where you handle where you handle, you didn't report about that. You didn't report about that, like compiler is objected this line. Then immediately do stuff is going to get fired like anything. Hey, my caller already handled. My caller already handled. Why you are asking this question to me? Then simple compiler is going to ask, array do stuff. I know main can handle, but have you delegated to the main? Without delegating to the main, how I can ask? Without delegating to the main, how I can ask the main method? That's why first delegate to the main, then I will contact main method only. You didn't delegate, now you are responsible to handle, like here again compile method you are going to get, sir. Now have a look once. If for do more stuff, for do more stuff throws IE is there. So for do more stuff throws IE is there, but do stuff not delegating. Now do stuff is the responsible to handle at line number 9. The problem is going to come. Observe that. Observe carefully, right? Yes, at line number 9 the problem is coming. Unreported exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. Is it clear, right? Okay, like now, so compulsory do stuff is the responsible to delegate that responsibility to main method. Here throws IA. Now the code is going to compile fine. Remember this one. So in this, at least one throws keyword, if we remove, then the code won't compile. Compulsory all the 3 throws keywords must be required. If you don't want to use, better to use a try catch. Again, better to use a try catch. But if you want to use only throws, compulsory all the 3 throws statements must be required. If at least one throws statement is not there, immediately error we are going to get. Clear, right? Now observe. So this do stuff also throws interrupted exception. Interrupted exception. Now observe, throws interrupted exception. Happily the code will compile. There is no problem at all. Yes, friends, are you in the position to understand what is the purpose of throws keyword? How you can use the throws keyword? Okay, like so this is about the throws in the big picture. Sir, in the last videos, we covered throws keyword very clearly, sir. There are multiple cases are there related to this throws keyword. Let me explain the first case. Observe that. Here, class test is there. Class test is there. Next, sir, do you know test? What is this one? Respond. What is this one? What is this syntax? Constructor. Constructor. Okay. Next, public void m1. Public void m1 is there. Do you know here test constructor method is there. Now I'm taking throws exception for the class. At class level I'm taking. Next, constructor throws exception. Next, public void m1 throws exception. Like this I'm taking. Throws exception, like exception is the checked exception only, don't worry. Can you please confirm among these 3 which throws statement is the meaningful? Is the meaningful, right? So first one, take a bit very special care. So method, for the method, someone is going to call. Methods can be called by some other person, maybe another method or JVM. That's why for the method caller is there, that caller is the responsible to handle this exception. Okay, meaningful, sir. So for the method you can use a throws keyword, no problem, right? Next, the constructor also. For the constructor, caller is there. So the person who is going to create object, tester t is equal to new tester. Tester t is equal to new tester. He is the caller. Regarding the person who is going to create object, that person is called caller. Now he is the responsible to handle this exception. That's why it is also meaningful. No problem. It is acceptable. But class tester, sir, no one is going to call a class. Are you getting? No one call a class. Everyone can call constructor, or everyone can call method. Methods and constructor, someone is going to call. Possibility is there. But the class, no one is going to call. That's why for a class, usage of throws keyword is meaningless. That's why compile time error we are going to get. Remember this one. We can use a throws keyword only for constructors and methods, but not for classes or interfaces, but not for classes directly. Okay, like clear? Let me show this. Have a look once. Have a look once, sir. Here, observe carefully. Here I am taking all this nonsense. I don't want just a class test. Here, this is the constructor. This is the constructor I am taking. Here, just observe constructor. Next, here, public void M1 I am taking, sir. For the method, I am taking throws exception. Throws exception. 100% pakka valid. I am not seeing any syntactical error. Valid, sir. Now, for the constructor, I'm using throws. For the method, usage of throws, no problem. Now for the constructor, I'm checking, sir. Yes, perfectly, it is also valid, no issue at all. For the class, I'm using throws keyword. For the class, I'm using throws keyword. Array, no one is going to call class. That's why the problem is going to come. Observe carefully, sir. Observe carefully. Curly brace expected, but not a throws statement. This is the error we are going to get. That's why throws keyword applicable for methods and constructors, but not for classes. Clear? Now the second case, observe carefully, sir. Here I'm taking class test, public static void main method, string array args. Class test, public static void main, string array args. Just observe carefully, right? Sir, now I am taking throws test. This point already we discussed in throw keyword case, same. Throws test I am taking. Sir, we can use throws keyword only for throwable types. We can use throws keyword only for throwable types. Throwable types. But have you observed, right? We are using for test. Test is not throwable. It's a normal Java class. That's why immediately we are going to get compile time error saying incompatible types, test cannot be converted to throwable. This is the compile time error we are going to get, sir. Remember this one. That means we can use a throws keyword only for throwable types. Okay, for non-throwable types, if you are using, immediately error we are going to get, sir. Now observe carefully. Here I am taking, here the same example, class test, public static void main string array throws test I am taking. Throws test I am taking, sir. Now have a look once. This is the same code, whatever I explained on the board. Okay. Now see this one. See this, immediately error, incompatible types. Sir, test cannot be converted to throwable. Test cannot be converted to throwable. This is the error by default you are going to get. Any doubt? Are you in the position to understand, right? Test cannot be converted to throwable. This is the error we are going to get, sir. Sir, now the important conclusion, what you people should be aware. How I can make this one is the valid? Very simple. Class test extends throwable. Class test extends throwable. No problem. It will become child class of throwable. Sir, instead of throwable, you can take exception. Yes, now also it will become throwable only. Or instead of exception, you can take runtime exception. Sir, anything. So extends, either throwable you can take, or exception you can take, or runtime exception you can take. Now it will become throwable type. Now that syntactical mistake by default will be gone. Remember, have a look once. Now I am taking class test extends throwable. Are you getting? Class test extends throwable. If I can take extends throwable, now this test will become throwable type. Sir, throws keyword for throwable type meaningful. We won't get that compile error. Happily the code compiles fine. Are you getting right? Okay. Sir, need not be throwable. Need not be throwable. I can take exception also. If I can take exception, yes, still the code is valid. Sir, instead of exception, if you want, you can take runtime exception also. No issue. It is valid. Valid. Syntactically valid, sir. So we can use a throws keyword only for throwable types. By mistake, if you are using for non-throwable type, immediately compile time error you are going to get. This rule is applicable even for throw keyword also. Throw and throws, sir, can be applicable only for throwable types, but for not the remaining types. Clear? Sir, now the next case, a bit dangerous case, take special care. Here I am taking class test. Class test, public static void, main method, string array args. Public static void means string array args. Here, throw, I'm taking new exception. Throw, new exception, like this I'm taking. Sir, this is the first part. Now the second one I'm taking class test. Public static void main string array args. Public static void main string array args. Throw new error I'm taking. Throw new error, like this I'm taking. Can you please confirm what is the difference between these two things? Oi, don't tell, sir, here you took exception, here you took error. It is not my required difference. With respect to compile time, is there any problem? Please confirm. If I use like this, if I use like, is there any problem? So in one case the code compiles fine, but in second case the code won't compile. Which one? In one case the code compiles fine, in another case the code won't compile. Think a bit logically, then you can get much clarity, I'm sure. Yes, at this point already we discussed. Just linking only must be required. Okay, just observe this. Sir, I'm sure in the first case compiler will give left and right compile time error, but in the second case no syntactical mistake, happily the code compiles fine. But at runtime we will get, because we are raising error, right? No handling code, no catch block. That's why exception in thread, exception in thread main, exception in thread main, java.lang.error, java.lang.error we are going to get. It is runtime exception but not compile time error. Happily the code compiles fine, but in this case the compiler won't compile this code. Can you please tell what the reason? The reason is, just let me repeat this point. In our program, if there is any chance of raising checked exception, compulsory we should handle either by try catch or by throws keyword. So if we are not doing, immediately compile time error we will get. Unreported exception must be caught, declared to be thrown. Okay, now observe, the problem here is, sir, this one is exception is checked exception. Exception is checked exception, but error is unchecked. Error is unchecked, sir. This one is checked, but this one is unchecked. So in our program, if there is any chance of raising checked exception, compulsory we should handle either by try catch or by throws keyword. But we are raising but no handling code, immediately compile time error, unreported exception. Sir, which ones are exception? Must be caught or declared to be thrown. Must be caught or declared to be thrown. Like a comparative error we are going to get, sir. Take a bit very special care. That's why, so throw keyword, because something goes wrong for the term rising. But again, compiler is going to ask where you are handling meaningless. That's why throw keyword highly recommended to use for unchecked exception, but not for checked exceptions. If we are going to use a throw keyword for checked exception, throw, not throws. Don't get confused. Throw keyword. We are rising, sir. Unchecked exceptions recommended to rise, but not checked exception. It is a checked. We are rising exception to indicate something wrong, but still compiler is going to object, meaningless. Remember, but anyway, as of now, just aware this one compile time error, but this one happily the code compiles fine, but at runtime the problems are. Let me show this one. Have a look once. Throw new exception like this, right? Now let me compile. Have you observed unreported exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. Unreported exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. This is the error by default we are getting. Sir, now how you can handle? Better to use throws exception. My JVM is the responsible to handle. Happily the code compiles fine. Are you getting? Happily the code compiles fine like this, right? Okay. Now second error, sir. Error. Can you please tell error is the checked or unchecked? Respond. Error is the checked or unchecked? Error is unchecked. So whether you are handling or not handling, compiler never going to check. Compiler will always check only checked exceptions, but not unchecked exceptions. That's why happily the code compiles fine. Have you observed? Here, see this one. Is happily the code compiles fine, no compile time error, but at runtime you will get exception. Can you please observe that? Exception in thread main java.lang.error yet test.main. So first one is the compile time error, but second one is a runtime exception. Any doubt about this case? A bit dangerous case. With pleasant mind, better to analyze, then you will get much clarity. Sir, now the next case 4, a bit dangerous case, a bit lengthy case. Take very special care, sir. Now I am taking try block. Here just observe try block. System.out.println hello. That's all I am taking. Try block hello. Now catch I am taking. Sir, simple arithmetic exception I am taking, sir. Arithmetic exception I am taking. That's all. This is the first case. Sir, here which exception I am taking? Catch block for arithmetic exception. Now here try system.out.println hello. Next catch exception I am taking, sir. Catch exception I am taking. Okay, that's all. This is the second. Now the third one, try system.out.println hello. Next catch IO exception I'm taking like this. Okay, this is the third. Now the fourth one, try system.out.println hello. Next catch block interrupted exception. So multiple times we used already interrupted exception like this I'm taking. This is the fourth one. Now the last one, try system.out.println hello. Catch block I'm taking error. Catch block error like this I'm taking, sir. That's all. Observe that in the try block, simple hello, that's all. Simple hello, SOP of hello. But first time arithmetic exception, second time exception, third time IO exception, fourth time interrupted exception, fifth time error. Are you getting? Fifth time error like this I'm taking, sir. Can you please confirm among these with respect to compile time, which things are going to compile, which things won't compile. Yes, friends, think a bit logically. Among these, which things will compile, which things won't compile? If I can ask this question in my offline session, out of 100, almost all the people never going to answer, because maybe it may be a new point for them, maybe it is not a guessable answer, maybe like so simple answer I will tell. The first one, happily the code compiles fine. Second one, happily the code compiles fine. But third one, compiler will give left and right. Okay, compile time error. Fourth one, compile time error. Compile time error. Fifth one, happily the code compiles fine. I'm providing the hint also. Okay, so first two things, arithmetic exception, compiles fine. IO exception, interrupted exception, won't compile. Next, error, sir, again compiles fine, no problem, right? What the reason? Perfectly it is valid. What the reason for that? The reason is, in the last video somewhere, have you remembered I covered what is the difference between checked exception and unchecked exception? What is partially checked, fully checked? Have you remembered? Okay, so just go through that video if you didn't memorize. So which are checked, which are unchecked, which are partially checked, which are fully checked, sir. Now have a look once. Arithmetic exception, it's a very clear, it is unchecked. Arithmetic exception unchecked. Next, exception, it is partially checked. It is partially checked. IO exception, it is fully checked. IO exception, fully checked. Interrupted exception, fully checked. Interrupted exception, fully checked. Next, error, again, it is unchecked. Error, again, it is unchecked, sir. Unchecked. So, compiler won't compile only fully checked case. For unchecked, partially checked, unchecked, happily the code compiles fine. The rule here is, within the try block, observe carefully, sir. Within the try block, if there is no chance of raising an exception, sir, no chance of raising an exception, then we can't write the catch block for that exception. Remember that. Within the try block, if there is no chance of raising an exception, we can't write the catch block for that exception. Sir, I'm not performing arithmetic operations, but you wrote catch block for arithmetic exception. Okay, I'm not performing any IO operations, but you are writing catch block for IO exception. So within the try block, if there is no chance of raising any exception, I mean that exception, you can't write the catch block for that exception. Okay, remember that. If there is a possibility of raising, then you have to write the catch block. Otherwise, compile time error you are going to get. Sir, compiler will give left and right. Array, there is no chance of raising this exception. Why you wrote catch block? Array, you are not traveling in the car or bike, you are traveling in the train. Why you have to think about diesel? Why you have to think about power? Okay, it's not required. So you are not performing any IO operations, but still you are writing the catch block for IO, meaningless. So if you are writing catch block unnecessary like this, compiler will give left and right. But this rule is applicable only for fully checked exceptions. Remember this one. This rule is applicable only for fully checked exception. For partially checked, unchecked, this rule is not applicable. Sir, what error you are going to get? Sir, compile time error saying exception. Which exception, sir? IO exception. IO exception is never raised in the try block. Is never raised in corresponding try block. This type of error by default we are going to get exception. So IO exception is never raised, or there is no chance of rising in corresponding try block. This type of error by default we will get just up to the. So let me repeat again. within the try block, if there is no chance of raising an exception, you can't write catch block for that. By mistake, if you are writing exception XXX is never thrown in corresponding try block. This type of comparative method we are going to get, but this rule is applicable only for fully checked exception. For unchecked exception, partially checked, even you can write catch block, compiler never going to object. Only for fully checked exceptions, compiler will object. Observe this. Have a look once. Sir, first I'm taking arithmetic exception. Arithmetic exception. Is it checked or unchecked? Please respond. Is it checked or unchecked? It is unchecked. If it is unchecked, compiler never going to object anything. Happily the code compiles fine and runs fine. Observe that. Observe this. Sir, I'm taking the code compiles fine. The code compiles fine. If I run this code also, Java test hello will be printed, sir. Valid. I'm not seeing any problem. Instead of arithmetic exception, simply exception I'm taking. Exception. Can you please confirm, is it valid or invalid? Perfectly this is valid because it's the partially checked. Partially checked. Okay. Now observe, hello, valid, sir, valid. It is instead of exception, IO exception, but which is there inside java.io package. Whenever we are using fully qualified name, import statement is not required. Anyway, sir, IO exception. Now observe that. The problem here, exception, IO exception is never thrown in body of corresponding try statement. Exception, IO exception is never thrown in body of corresponding try statement. This is the error we are going to get. Are you getting right? Sir, instead of IO, I'm taking interrupted exception. Instead of IO, I'm taking interrupted exception. If I can take interrupted exception, have you observed? Exception, interrupted exception is never thrown in body of corresponding try statement. Okay, is the problem. Exception, interrupted exception is never thrown in body of corresponding try statement. Okay, that's all. Next, instead of interrupted exception, now I'm taking simple error, sir. No issue at all. Catch block for error applicable. The code compiles fine. What the answer we are going to get? Simple hello is the answer. So the important conclusion what you people should aware. So within the try block, if there is no chance of raising an exception, we can't write catch block for that exception. By mistake, if we are writing immediately error, unreported exception, what is that error? Exception XXX is never thrown in body of corresponding try block. This is the comparative error we will get. But this rule is applicable only for what? Fully checked exceptions. Clear, right? These are 4 important cases related to throws statement. Clear? Sir, in the last videos we covered very clearly what about exception handling keyword summary, what are various possible comparative errors related to exception handling, sir. Sir, before going further, one very important interview question I want to discuss, right? The most valuable important question. Okay, do you know without this question you can't expect any Java interview. That much important question I am going to discuss. Take very special care, right? Sir, now what is that is? What is the difference between finally and finalize? Are you getting difference between finally and finalize? Sir, first one, what is final? What is final? Okay, observe that. Final is a access modifier. Are you getting what is final, sir? Final is a modifier in Java, just like static, abstract. Final is the modifier. Sir, final modifier applicable for classes, final class. Next, final is applicable for methods, okay, because final method, it is applicable for variables also. So final is applicable for classes, methods and variable. If a class declared as final, we can't create child class inheritance is not possible. We can't extend that class. Sir, this class implementation is the final. No one is allowed to extend this class, this functionality. No one is allowed to extend. So by mistake, if you are trying to create a child class for this final class, immediately comparative method you are going to get, sir. Remember this one. So this final class, if a class declared as a final, we can't create child class for that. If we can't extend this class functionality by creating child class, inheritance is not possible. Similarly, if a method declared as the final, then we can't override that method in the child class. Remember, sir, parent class method implementation is the final. No one is allowed to override in the child class. Similarly, if a variable declared as the final, sir, variable is the final means what? No one is allowed to change. Final, then we can't change its value if the variable will become constant. Remember this one. So final class means we can't create child class. Final method means we can't override. Final variable means, can you please spell out, sir, what is the final variable? Final variable means we can't change its value. This is about final. In the modifiers concept I covered very clearly. I hope you may aware clearly, right? Sir, next, what is finally? Just now we covered, sir. Finally is a block associated with the try catch. Are you getting? So finally is a block associated with the try catch. Observe that. Can you please tell, sir, inside finally block, which code we have to take? Which code we have to take? By this time I hope you are very much aware, because we discussed a huge time on the finally block. Have you remember, right? Okay. So try, inside the try we have to take risky code. Inside catch block we have to take handling code. Are you getting? Handling code. Inside finally block we have to write the cleanup code. We require to write cleanup code, sir. So means that. So inside finally block we have to write cleanup code. We have to write resource deallocation code. Are you getting? We require to write which code, sir? Resource deallocation code or cleanup code we have to write. So the main purpose of finally block is to maintain cleanup code, to maintain resource deallocation code. Next, what is the specialty of this finally block? Can you please spell out what is the specialty of finally block? Finally block will be executed always, irrespective of whether exception raised, not raised, handled or not handled. In any case, finally block will be executed, right? Okay. So what is final modifier? Finally block. Clear, sir? Now the next thing, sir, we have to talk about finalize. Are you getting? What is finalize? Finalize is a method. Remember this one. Finalize is a method. So it is associated with the garbage collector. I hope you people may aware. Of course, it's not required for certification, but anyway aware. So it is associated with the garbage collector concept. Suppose I have an object is there, sir. Can you please tell, is this object eligible for garbage collection or not? Please confirm. Is it eligible for garbage collection or not? Yes, because this object not having any reference variable. If an object doesn't have any reference variable, this object is always eligible for garbage collection. Correct, right? Now, sir, garbage collector came, sir. Now observe this a bit very carefully, sir. Garbage collector came. Now the garbage collector saw this object. Then the garbage collector felt very happy. Because the reason is, what is the food to the garbage collector is useless objects only. By seeing this object, garbage collector felt very happy. Today I got food, I got biryani, something like garbage collector is going to feel very happy, sir. Then garbage collector came and it is dancing in front of this object, saying, "Hey garbage collector, object, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to destroy you." Like garbage collector is going to convey for this object. Then automatically object is feeling very sad. This object starts shivering because someone came to kill you. Then what about your situation? Same, right? Now this object starts shivering. But garbage collector observed that. Observe that shivering. Okay. Then immediately garbage collector is telling object, definitely I will kill you because that's my job. If I'm not going to kill you, I'm not doing my job well. Compulsory I will kill you. But before killing, before destroying, I want to give you a small offer for you. What is that offer is, do you have any last wish? Let me know. I will fulfill that last wish and then I will kill you. Like garbage collector gave a big bumper offer for this object. Sir, even in our jails also, for any criminal, assume that for any criminal, sir, hanging punishment decided. Then before hanging, the jail people are going to ask, Ray, do you have any last wish? Like, so immediately the people will tell, yes, I want Italian cigar, or otherwise I want to talk with my parents or my family members. Like sometimes maybe what we call the custody person is going to convey. Then the jail people is going to fulfill their requirement and then hanging is going to be happen. Are you getting right? Okay. Same way, here also garbage collector is going to give bumper offer for this object. Hey, do you have any last wish? Please let me know, so that I will fulfill that last wish. After that only I will destroy this object. Like a garbage collector is conveyed to the object. Then the object feels a bit happy. Then immediately what the object is going to convey? Array, one network connection associated with me, one database connection associated with me. Are you getting? If you close these resources, then you can destroy me, no problem at all. Like object is going to convey to the garbage collector. Then immediately garbage collector, what it will do is, what the garbage collector will do is, so to perform those cleanup activities, garbage collector will call finalize method. Can you spell out what is the method? Finalize method. To perform which activities, right? Cleanup activities. To perform cleanup activities, garbage collector will call finalize method. Sir, once finalize method completed, cleanup activities completed, immediately garbage collector will destroy this object. Are you getting? Immediately garbage collector will destroy this object. Remember this one, sir. So who is calling finalize method? Respond. Who is calling finalize method? Garbage collector is calling finalize method. When garbage collector calls finalize method, just before destroying an object. Sir, for which purpose garbage collector calls finalize method? To perform cleanup activities. Are you getting? So let me combine all these things in a single line. So just before destroying an object, garbage collector calls finalize method to perform cleanup activities. Is it clear for all of you, right? So if any person is asking about what is the purpose of finalize method, garbage collector will call finalize method to perform cleanup activities just before destroying an object. Once a finalize method completed, immediately garbage collector will destroy this object. Is it clear for all of you, right? Okay. Well, sir, can you please tell what is the difference between final, finally, finalize? Final is a modifier applicable for classes, methods, variable. If a class declared as the final, you can't create child class. If a method declared as the final, you can't override that method in the child class. If a variable declared as the final, it will become constant. We can't change its values. Next, finally is a block associated with the try catch. The main purpose of finally block is to maintain cleanup code. To maintain which codes are? Cleanup code. That is the purpose of finally block. Okay. Next, the speciality of finally block is, what is the speciality? Finally block will be executed always, irrespective of whether exception raised, not raised, handled or not handled. In any case, my finally block will be executed always. That's all. What about finalize? Finalize is a method. Is always called by garbage collector, always called by garbage collector just before destroying an object to perform cleanup activities. Once finalize method completed, automatically garbage collector will destroy object. Clear, right? Okay, well. Sir, now I have one small doubt. What is my doubt is, can you please tell what is the purpose of finally block? Respond. What is the purpose of finally block? To maintain cleanup code or to perform cleanup activities. What is the purpose of finalize method? To perform cleanup activities. to perform cleanup activities. Then what is the difference between finally cleanup, finalize cleanup? Sir, it's a very important, sir. What the difference between finally cleanup and finalize cleanup? It is a very important point. Sir, observe, do you know both meant for cleanup only? Even similarity is there in the terminology finalize, finally, but concepts are different. But context is the different. Best example, auto driver is there. We have three-wheeler auto driver. The person who is going to drive auto is called auto driver. Next, device driver is there. Sir, device driver is a software which is responsible to run hardware devices. Are you getting right? Hardware device. So the corresponding software driver we have to install. Device driver. Device driver is the software related word. Auto driver is nothing but human being which is, sir, both are drivers only. Can I use both are same? No, both are different. Same way, sir, finally cleanup, finalize cleanup, both are different, sir. Where is the difference? Very simple, sir. Observe carefully. Here, within the try block, I open some resources. Now, sir, finally, is responsible to perform cleanup code, to close the resources which are happened at the part of try block. Are you getting? If any resource which is open, like database connection, network connection, at the part of try block, those resources where we have to close, sir, inside finally block. Finally block cleanup code meant for resources open at the part of try block. Remember that, okay? So next, I have object is there. I have an object. No try catch finally. Object is there. So just before destroying an object, if any resources associated with this object, I want to close. If any resources associated with this object, I want to close. To perform such type of cleanup, object related cleanup activities, we require to go for finalize method. Are you getting? So finalize method meant for object related cleanup activities. Next, finally block meant for try block open the resources cleanup activities. Both are different terminology. Even, sir, cleanup is the same. Are you getting the point, right? Okay, that's all. This is the most valuable, very important question for the interview room, sir. What is the difference between finally, finalize? If any person is asking this question in the interview room, give left and right to that person. I hope it's a very clear for you people, right? Hi friends, in the last videos we covered very clearly what is a try, catch, finally, throw, throws keywords. So these things we covered. Next, even I discussed about the most valuable, very important question for the interview room. What is the difference between finally, finalize? Clear, right? Sir, now the next concept, what we have to discuss, a bit important for the interview room, for day-to-day coding also. What that is, customized or user-defined exceptions. Are you getting what is that? Customized or user-defined exceptions, right? Sir, what is the meaning of customized or user-defined exceptions? Very simple, sir. Sometimes to meet our programming requirement, we have to define our own exceptions and we have to raise those exceptions based on our requirement. The exceptions which are defined programmer. Are you getting? Not Java's inbuilt exceptions, right? The exceptions which are defined explicitly by the programmer to meet the programming requirement. Those exceptions are by default considered as customized exceptions or user-defined exceptions. User means programmer. Programmer-defined exceptions, right? Sir, now you may ask, sir, can you please explain with a small example? Just try to get basic idea and then I will go for executable program. Sir, I want to implement withdraw functionality, right? So if you want to withdraw, how much amount you have to withdraw? We have to specify double amount. Assume that's all. Sir, assume in my account 10,000 balance is there but I'm trying to withdraw 20,000 rupees. Is it possible? Array account balance is 10,000 only, but I'm trying to withdraw 20,000 rupees. Is it possible or not? No chance at all. Remember this one. The reason is, so how the bank people are going to provide extra money? No chance at all. But by mistake, I may get, I may enjoy. Okay, like I'm trying. Immediately I'm going to get insufficient funds exception. Correct or not? Immediately we will get what? Insufficient funds exception. Okay. Now observe here, if requested amount greater than available balance. If requested amount greater than available balance, then I have to use throw new insufficient funds exception. Insufficient funds exception I have to raise this up. Are you getting? If amount requested amount greater than balance, throw new insufficient funds exception I have to raise. Do you know? So insufficient funds exception is not a Java's inbuilt exception. Based on my programming requirement, I defined this one. Such type of exception is called okay, user defined or customized exception. Don't ask in which Java package this exception is there. It is not Java's inbuilt exception. To meet our programming requirement, our created exception is what? Insufficient funds exception, which is nothing but customized exception or user defined exception. Everyone can able to understand, right? Have you got the basic idea what the meaning of user defined or customized exception, right? Okay, well, now the next one, sir, very important. Observe carefully. Sir, suppose another example to understand what is the customized exception. Matrimonial website is there, sir. Regarding, of course, which is really required for you people, not for you. Everyone, it's required. So I hope you people may upload it your profile in the job site. Okay, job seekers especially, Naukri, Monster, Shine, like Times, like have you uploaded your resume in matrimonial sites or not? In job sites anyway you did. Have you uploaded in matrimonial sites or not? Highly recommended. Compulsory you have to upload your profile in the matrimonial site. Getting the job is very easy. Getting the marriage is not that much easy. At the age of 60 years also, you can get the job. But at the age of 60 years, you won't get the marriage. Take a bit very special care, sir. Sir, assume I want to upload my profile in the matrimonial site. Assume that's all. This is Durga's matrimonial. Okay, Durga's matrimonial. Okay, I developed one web application, Durga's matrimonial site. Here I have to provide age qualification requirements, and there are multiple. So for user registration, sign up purpose, compulsory he has to provide multiple information. At last he has to do submit or otherwise sign up. Okay, sign up. Okay, like now here assume that my web application can provide support from 18 years to 60 years only. Assume that within this age limit, within this age range, sir, my application is going to accept, because in India minimum married age should be 18 years, man. Okay, max up to 60 I want to provide support. So for this web application, right, assume, sir, a person trying to register in my site with 99 years. You are getting, right? If a person trying to register in the matrimonial site with 99 years, can I accept this request? No. As per my limit, I won't accept. Then what I have to do is I will raise exception saying too young exception. Please wait some more time. Definitely you will get best match. definitely you will get a best match. Observe that. So if a person trying to register with 99 years age, then automatically too young exception. Please wait some more time. Definitely you will get best match. This is the exception I want to raise. Just for kidding purpose. 99 years is not young. Okay. Just for kidding. Okay. Just I'm using this word, sir. Too young exception. Okay. Similarly, another person trying to register with 14 years age. Are you getting? With 14 years age only, another person trying to register. Then what I have to do is too old exception, too old exception, too old exception, because I can't provide support. Too old exception. Your age already crossed marriage age. Your age already crossed marriage age. No chance of getting marriage. No chance of getting marriage. No chance of getting marriage. Like this I want to provide. Okay. So actually for 99 years I want to provide too old, but 14 years I want to provide too young. Just for kidding purpose, reverse messages I'm going to display. Just that's all. Don't think sir is reversing the words, like reversing the exceptions, like no. Sir, now observe a bit very carefully, sir. What is this too young exception, or what is this too old exception? These exceptions are not available in Java based on my programming requirement. I have to define these exceptions. Such type of exceptions are by default considered as what? Customized exceptions or user defined exceptions. Everyone can able to understand, right? Can you please tell what is customized or user defined exception? Can you please spell out what is the customized or user defined exception? The exceptions which are raised, which are defined explicitly by the programmer to meet the programming requirement. Okay, so are called user defined exceptions or customized exceptions. Can you give an example for user defined exception? Insufficient funds exception, too young exception, too old exception. These things are by default considered customized exceptions or user defined exceptions. Clear for all of you, right? If you feel comfortable, I will explain with an example, executable example, so that if any person is asking in the interview room, you should be in a position to give left and right. Clear for all of you, right? Hi friends, sir, now the next topic what I want to explain, top 10 exceptions in exception handling. Sir, why I'm talking about this topic is there are two reasons are there. Sir, first one, in the interview room, if you are trying with experience, maybe a chance to ask in your previous project, what are the most commonly raised exceptions what you experienced or what you faced? Sir, what exceptions you got in the previous project? You should be in a position to talk at least a few exceptions, right? Okay. Next, that is for interview room sake. Now the next possibility, being programmer, compulsory you people should have some clarity about the common exceptions. So that's why, so this topic is very helpful for you to improve your coding level with respect to exception handling, right? So which 10 exceptions I want to discuss? Observe a bit very carefully, sir. So the first one, array index out of bounds exception. Next, null pointer exception, stack overflow error, class cast exception, no class ref found error, exception in initializer error, illegal argument exception, number format exception, illegal state exception, assertion error. Sir, total these are the 10 top 10 exceptions what I want to explain. Sir, the first one, observe a bit very carefully, sir. The first array index out of bounds exception. Sir, can you please observe array index out of bounds exception? Array index out of bounds exception is the child class of index out of bounds exception. Index out of bounds exception, which is the child class of runtime exception. Of course, this runtime exception is the child class of, have you remembered, right? Exception is the child class of exception, which is the child class of throwable. Now complete story. Array index out of bounds exception is the child class of index out of bounds exception. Index out of bounds exception child class of runtime exception, which is the child of exception throwable. Have you remembered right? Runtime exception and its child classes are unchecked. That's why it is a unchecked exception. Compiler never going to worry whether you are handling this exception or not. Okay, so first point about array index out of bounds exception is it is unchecked exceptions, right? Okay, well sir, when this exception will be raised, so the name itself indicates array index out of bounds exception. This exception will be raised automatically whenever we are trying to access array element with the out of range index. Regarding whenever we are trying to access array element with the out of range index, automatically this exception by default will be raised. Is it clear for all of you, right? Okay, sir, just observe. Let me go for a simple example, sir. I'm taking int array a is equal to new int array of 10. Int array a is equal to new int array of 10. Sir, what is the size of this array? 10 sir. Now what index is possible? 0 to 9. Here total 10 elements are there. First element index is 0, 10th element index is 9. That's why, so the possible index is 0 to 9. Next, once we create an array, every element by default initializer with the default value. Sir, what is the default value for int type? 0, 0, 0, like this, right? Default value for int type is 0. Now, I'm trying to access SOP of A of 0. Regarding SOP of A of 0, 0, A of 0. So what is the element locating at the 0 index? 0, sir, it is perfectly valid. Because it is a valid index, right? Now, system.out.println, A of 9, 9 is also valid index if the array size is the 10. Yes, what the answer? 0 we are going to get. Okay, so we are accessing array element with the valid index only, right? Suppose I'm trying to access SOP of A of 100, sir. Oh, what is the 100 index element? So for the size of 10, 100 index is not possible. Immediately we are going to get runtime exception, array index out of bounds exception. Everyone can able to understand, right? So if you are trying to access array element with the out of range index, then we are going to get what? Array index out of bounds exception. Now system.out.println A of minus 100. Sir, whether it is a positive or negative, no problem. It is not in the range. Sir, valid range is 0 to 9 only. 0 to 9 only. Before 0, any negative value. After 9, any positive value. These two things will become what? Sir, out of range only. So, whether it is a minus 100 or whether it is a plus 100, it is out of range. That's why we are going to get same array index out of bounds exception. So, if you are trying to access array element with the out of range index, whether it is a positive number or negative number, no problem. We are always going to get array index out of bounds exception. Clear for all of you, right? Can you please cross check? Have a look once, sir. So I want to execute a small example. Same, sir. Int array A is equal to new int array of 10, A of 0, SOP of A of 0, SOP of 9, A of 9 I am taking, sir. So 0 and 9 valid indexes only, because size of 10 means 0 to 9, any index is acceptable. Now let me execute this code, sir. Here, observe a bit carefully. The code compiles fine. The code compiles fine, no problem at all. Now I'm trying to execute. What is the answer we are getting? 0, 0. Perfectly itself is acceptable. Okay. Now I'm taking A of 100. A of 100. Immediately we are going to get, sir, runtime exception. No compile time error at all, because array index out of bounds exception is not a check. Compiler never going to consider whether you are handling or not. Sir, at runtime, I'm going to get array index out of bounds exception, sir, for index 100. Sir, need not be 100, sir. Even minus 100 also you can take. Minus 100 also. Sir, you are going to get. So there is no compile time error. Perfectly the code compiles fine. Now, array index out of bounds exception minus 100. Array index out of bounds exception minus 100 is the output we are going to get, sir. So, any explanation is required? Can you please confirm? Everyone in the position to understand clearly, right? Okay. So whenever we are trying to access array element with the out of range index, then we will get what? Array index out of bounds exception. That's also, this is the first exception what you should aware. Sir, now the next one, second exception what I have to explain, null pointer exception. The name itself indicates, right? Null pointer exception. Okay. Sir, when we are going to get this one, and whether it is a checked or unchecked. Do you know null pointer exception? Null pointer exception is the child class of runtime exception. Next, runtime exception is the child class of exception. Exception is the child class of throwable. Observe that, throwable. Now, do you know runtime exception and its child classes are unchecked? Already you aware? That's why null pointer exception is unchecked. Compiler never going to check whether you are handling this exception or not. Okay. Sir, when we will get null pointer exception? So, whenever we are trying to perform any operation on the null, are you getting? If you are trying to perform any operation on the null, then we are going to get null pointer exception. Okay. Very simple, sir. If I can consider string s is equal to Durga is there, sir. String s is equal to Durga is there. Now, system dot out dot println s dot length. I'm asking, sir. S dot length. Hey, what is the length? What is the length of this string? Like this I'm asking. What is the length? What is the length of this string? Like this I'm asking, sir. Sir, if I can ask like, what is the output we are going to get, sir? 5. How many characters are there? 5. Here, string object is there. Length is a meaningful work. Is going to work out. Suppose I'm taking string s is equal to null. String s is equal to null I'm taking. So, it is a null. This string object is not available. Now, system.out.println s dot length. S dot length. Remember, whenever we are trying to perform any operation on the null reference, then immediately we are going to get runtime exception, null pointer exception. Everyone can you please explain when you are going to get null pointer exception? The most commonly raised exception in our programming, sir. Remember this one in our projects, the most commonly raised exception is null pointer exception. On the null, if you are trying to perform any operation, then immediately we are going to get null pointer exception. Clear, right? Have a look once, sir. Observe a bit carefully. Here I am taking string s is equal to, here 1 minute, string s is equal to Durga it is. Now system.out.println s dot length, sir. Okay, s dot length like this I am taking, sir. So now what is the answer we are going to get? Perfectly itself is valid. Yes, the code compiles fine, the code runs fine. What is the answer we are getting, sir? 5. We are going to get 5 as the answer. It is the value. Suppose s is equal to null. S is equal to null. So on the null reference, we are calling length method. On the null reference, we are calling length method. Then what will happen is, do you know, we are going to get exception in thread main. What is that exception, sir? Null pointer exception. Everyone can able to understand, right? So when we are going to get null pointer exception, sir, on null reference, if we are trying to perform any operation, then immediately we are going to get null pointer exception. Clear? Sir, the next exception what we have to discuss, stack overflow error. Stack overflow error. Do you know stack overflow error is the child class of, just observe very carefully, sir. Stack overflow error is the child class of virtual machine error. Okay, VM, virtual mission error. Virtual mission error. Sir, this VM error, virtual mission error, is the child class of error, which is the child class of throwable. Okay, just observe. Now, sir, do you know error and its child classes are unchecked. That's why stack overflow error is unchecked, sir. Need not be this error. Any error is always unchecked. Compiler never going to ask how you can handle this exception, whether the programmer handling or not. Compiler never going to check stack overflow error. Okay, well, sir, when we are going to get this one? So the first point is very clear. It is unchecked, sir. Sir, now when we are going to get this one? Stack overflow. The stack is going to overflow, sir. When? So, whenever we are performing recursive method call, have you remembered? Whenever we are performing what? Recursive method call. For every method, one entry will be stored in the stack. Recursive method call means that calls never going to end. At certain point, stack is going to overflow. Then obviously, we are going to get what? Stack overflow error. Sir, I will explain with an example. Don't worry, sir. Here, observe that. I'm taking a class test. Listen very carefully about this one. I'm taking class test. Sir, public static void M1 method is there. Are you getting? I have one method is there, M1. This M1 method internally calls M2. Public static void M1 internally calls M2. Now, public static void M2 internally calls M1. Oh, observe carefully, sir. M1 calls M2, M1 calls M2, M2 calls M1. Are you getting a recursive method call, right? Sir, now public static void main method, I'm taking string array args. Public static void main string array args. Now my target is, sir, here take very special care. I'm calling M1. From the main, I'm calling M1. Now the point here is, sir, do you know in this program how many threads are available? Respond, man. How many threads are available? By default, every Java program contains only one thread. What is that thread? Main thread. For every thread, JVM is going to create one runtime stack. I hope you may ever write. JVM will create what? One runtime stack. This is called a runtime stack for the main thread. Runtime stack. Okay. Now, every method call performed by main thread, performed by this thread, will be stored here. Okay. First, which method will be called by main thread, will be executed by main thread, is the main method. Are you getting? Main method. That's why. So for the main, one entry will be stored, sir. Main one entry will be stored. Main internally calls M1. Main internally calls M1. So that's why for M1, one entry will be stored. Now M1 internally calls M2. For every method call, one entry will be stored in the stack M2. Sir, for again M2 again calling M1. M2 again calling M1. So M2 calls M1. M1 calls M2. M2 calls M1. Okay, dot. At certain point, this stack is going to overflow. Then immediately we are going to get stack overflow error. Sir, what is the exception we are going to get? Of course, sir, runtime error. Exception in thread main. What is that, sir? Stack overflow error. Okay, this is. So, when you will get a stack overflow error, sir? If there is a recursive method call, then there is a possibility of stack overflow error. Sir, let me execute this code. Have a look once, sir. Observe carefully about this one. Here I am taking, sir, now forget about this. I have one method is there, public static void M1 method. Okay, like inside M1 I am calling M2. Okay, M2 method, right? Same M2, sir, internally calls M1. M2 internally calls M1. Now observe a bit carefully, sir. Here M1 calls M2, M2 calls M1. Okay, it is the recursive, sir. Now here I am taking, sir, just I want to call M1. Now observe, a bit very carefully. There is no compile time error. Happily the code is going to be compiled. Now I'm trying to execute, sir. If I'm trying to execute, now have a look once. Exception in thread main java.lang.stack overflow error. Okay, stack sir m2 called by m1 called by m2 dot. This cycle by default will be there. I hope everyone in the position to understand when you are going to get stack overflow error. If for recursive method call is there, then there may be a chance of stack overflow error. Clear?